in major statements tell the outcome of the Edo governorship election as Ighodalo, Peter Obi, and civil society organization speak on the conduct. And the Vice President Kashim Shettima is in New York in the United States for the United Nations General Assembly. He will be representing President Bola Tinubu and leading Nigeria's delegation. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale in Abuja. So much to talk about tonight. So let's get straight into it. Let's give you an information about Nigeria's representation in the United Nations General Assembly, where the Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived in New York to represent Nigeria at the 79th United Nations General Assembly, which of course the VP landed today, and he's a Senior Special Assistant on Media and Communications. Stanley Nkwocha says the Vice President touched down at John F. Kennedy International Airport earlier today, was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, Minister of Communications and Innovations and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NICTA, Kashifu Unuwa, and Nigerian diplomats, UN officials, and many others. Mr. Ighodalo has given a very detailed response and his views on the outcome of the election, where INEC declared that the APC governorship candidate, Monday Okpebolo, defeated him to emerge as the governor-elect of Edo State. The two succeed Governor Godwin Obaseki. I'll be giving you what he said. The PDP NWC also has spoken. His acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, has also spoken. Peter Obi is speaking. Civil society is speaking. But we get a robust response from a very strong person who backed this election, who was the face of the election, and perhaps you'll be getting all the angles that you need to know right here on the program. But first and foremost, let's check out some of the political roundup stories.
The Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, has called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to immediately look into reports of alleged overvoting in some polling units in the just concluded Edo governorship election. CDD explains that the commission has a 7-day window allowed by law to balance all voting figures from the polling units and what was uploaded on the IREV portal to ensure that the process is seen to be transparent and democratic. The Action People's Party, APP, in Rivers State has announced its readiness to participate in the upcoming local government election scheduled for the 5th of October in Rivers State. As part of its preparations, the party said it has set aside Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week to officially unveil its candidates across the 3 senatorial districts. At a media briefing in Port Harcourt, the state chairman of the party, Sani Wokekoro, assures that the APP remains the party to beat in the forthcoming poll. The Kwara State Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak has sworn in the newly elected 16 local government chairmen with a charge on them to implement programs and policies that will bring about positive change to their communities, taking cognizance of the present economic situation in the country. The ceremony, which took place at the banquet hall of the Government House, saw the chairmen receiving their certificates of return earlier at the Kwara State Independent Electoral Commission office in Ilori. The Imo State Independent Electoral Commission has declared the All Progressives Congress as the winner of the 27 local government and 305 wards chairmanship and councillorship seats in the just concluded local government elections in the state. The chairman of the commission, Charles Ejiogu, made this declaration at the headquarters in Owerri. According to him, the election was conducted in line with the state electoral laws and guidelines, and confidently affirmed that the election was credible, free and fair. APC was declared winner in all the seats of the Imo State local government polls.
There you have it, some of your political roundup stories, and you've been served. Let's tell you that President Bola Tinubu today presided over the Federal Executive Council meeting at the council chambers of the presidential villa in Abuja. At the meeting, the FEC congratulated the people of Edo State and the All Progressives Congress APC for their victory in the governorship election held this last Saturday. Well, the People's Democratic Party has been reacting to the outcome of the election. Mr. Umar Damagum, the acting national chairman of the PDP, at a press conference today in Abuja, has condemned the outcome. Take a listen to him.
Nigerians and the world watch in horror as the APC compromised security operatives and thugs unleashed terror, harassed, arrested, and detained PDP members and supporters, forced siege mentality before and on election day, and paved the way for its agents and procured INEC officials to manipulate the ballot process, substitute genuine results from the polling units with fictitious figures, and transfer the victory clearly won by our candidate, Ighodalo, to the defeated APC candidate. The 2024 Edo State governorship election, which was barefacedly compromised by the APC in collusion with unpatriotic security operatives and heavily procured INEC officials, who viciously trampled on the votes of the people in defiance of the law and total disregard to the sovereign will of the people of Edo State.
That's perhaps not the only response we'll be getting from the PDP. The candidate of the PDP in Edo State, Mr. Ighodalo, has given what has become a robust response to the outcome of the election. He's speaking on what happened, what transpired on Saturday's election from his own point of view in a taped about 3 minutes long response. Mr. Ighodalo speaks on the conduct and the outcome of the exercise. Take a listen to him.
My good people of Edo State, first, in all things, we must give thanks to God Almighty. We give thanks to God for the gift of life, the gift of health, and for the love you all have shown me. I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you who have stood by us on this incredible journey. I would like to particularly thank the good people of Edo State who defied the rains, the intimidation, the threats of violence, harassment, arrests, and financial inducements to cast their votes for us overwhelmingly last Saturday, 21st September 2024. You are the true heroes of our democracy, and your sacrifices for a better Edo State will never be forgotten. My aspiration was not born out of the love for power, but a genuine desire to serve the people and create a pathway to prosperity for all in Edo State. I traveled through every ward and every local government area, sharing this message and engaging in meaningful conversations with you. To all our beloved supporters, we thank you for believing in this vision, for your countless hours of dedication, and for every conversation you've had with people about this cause. Together, we ran a great campaign, and your overwhelming support was evident in the ballots before our progress was unjustly halted on September 21st, 2024 by people who do not mean well for you or for our state. That day will forever be etched in our history as one of our darkest moments, marked by the brazen theft of our mandate and the shameful subversion of the will of the people. Yet, in the face of this challenge, we must not be discouraged. The illusory triumph of evil over good is only temporary. Our journey towards a prosperous Edo State does not end here. It is just beginning. Let us remain engaged, committed and united in our collective resolve to create a pathway for prosperity for all in Edo State. You did not abandon me during our campaign, and I promise you, by the grace of God Almighty, that as we face a daunting and uncertain future together, I will not abandon you.
There might be a robust response yet from the runner-up in the election as announced by INEC, Mr. Ighodalo. Well, Mr. Peter Obi has been responding, the presidential candidate in the 2023 election, who was also on the ground to campaign for the Labour Party candidate Olumide Akpata. Well, YIAGA Africa, a civil society organization, has said the results of the 3 local government areas in Saturday's governorship election in Edo State were altered at the collation stage. In the post-election report released earlier today in Benin City, the state capital of Edo, YIAGA says the results announced by INEC for Oredo, Ego, and Eshan West local government areas were inconsistent when subjected to analysis indicating that they were altered at the collation level. The report, signed by Aisha Abdullahi, the election team lead, and the executive director of YIAGA Africa, Samson Intodo, declared that the election failed integrity tests and standards. There was perhaps one man who took the election matter more personally in the campaign. You will see him, how energetic and vibrant he was on the stage. If you say he was the face of the APC campaign, you may not be wrong. And tonight he's joined me live here. He was a two-term governor of Edo State and a sitting senator representing Edo North Senatorial District. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole is live with us in our studio. Senator, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And perhaps congratulations might be in order for you and your political party, APC, in this election.
Thank you very much, you.
Thank you so much. How does this election outcome come to you? You took it a bit personal because I saw the victory, that meeting in your house where the candidate gave a victory response and some of the members of your party and chieftains were rejoicing. I saw the way you were elated. It was somewhat a gratification of how you felt about the outcome. Can you describe how you feel about these the victory as pronounced by INEC?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much. As you said, I'm excited that we won because I've had the honor and rare privilege of presiding over the affairs of Edo State as a governor for 8 years. I understand the needs of the people. I know what the state was when I left and what it is today. And to some extent, not a few people still insist that I should be blamed for Governor Obaseki's obvious failure and very woeful performance. And even when I said, look, yes, in 2016, I accept responsibility for his poor performance, but I did this in 2020. But having seen that he came for a different purpose, that he shouldn't be re-elected. But some people argue that if a child failed his classroom, he can do a receipt. Here you are, from Ogbane, which they were shouting, he became Ofone. And I want to ask you, during the campaign, you listen to us, you listen to Governor Obaseki. You can't say he pointed out this ultra-modern primary school that he built it, or that there is this secondary school that he built. No. Instead, he said, and that's what Ighodalo tried to re-echo, he's going to extend broadband to Edo North. Earlier in the year, Obaseki and Ighodalo has said they've done feasibility study. There's approval by found that they are going to construct airport in Edo North. They have assured the Oba of Benin that the great Benin people are going to have a seaport in Gelegele. They brought former Vice President Osibajo to come and do groundbreaking of what, quote, industrial park. None of this has taken place. Even worse is that the Vice President came the second time to again do groundbreaking for mass housing. And the people attended this program. They saw them on television. They paraded all manners of colored people. Go there, The places are occupied by lizards and snakes. Nothing. Even the drainage I did to deflood Benin City, he compromised it because he refused to deseed the place. And this is rainy season. So even the timing of this election was very good for us and very bad for the PDP. Because when it rains, nobody can step out of his house. I repeated what I told you last time of children who were washed off by flood water. Avoidably, because the man wouldn't spend money on any quality job. And so you are not to show it. And then you have schools, parents are contributing money to pay teachers' school fees. So they have nothing to parade other than as we're reminding us that he's the chairman of 1 million boards. He's an executive director. He has made money. But what do people know him for? Which was not enough for him to be electable, as I said before, is that he was just a transaction partner.
Although Mr. Aswe has gone to court for you to retract that statement, he said you were wrong, that you don't have your facts right in that statement, and he's gone to court for you to retract.
Very good. So we'll meet in court.
Is that the reason why you knelt down before the Oba of Benin, begging for forgiveness that you brought Governor Godwin Obaseki? You think that it was a failure on your part bringing Governor Godwin Obaseki at that time? But the fact remains, at the end of the day, that those who believe that it wasn't about Governor Godwin Obaseki failing. It was your personal relationship that you fell out with him, and this was a personal issue and nothing to do with performance.
That's a poor recollection of history, Oshiomhole. You should know much better than that. First, you should know that even as a city governor of Edo State, I appreciate and I understand and I respect the institution of the Oba of Benin and of all the royal fathers in Edo State. And I knelt down, I always kneel down before the Oba. I will always do so. Even when the Oba before, the current Oba, asked me not to do so, I said no, a father is always a father. If you want to fault me from being humble, that's your body.
So this is the context.
And I said,
you said,
listen,
Governor Oshiomhole,
listen, I know what I said.
Yeah, no, you said you don't want to stand up.
Pardon?
No, in that video, at some point you said you still want to remain on your knee.
That's the details. I was on my knee as a court reporter. Whether for 10 hours or for 1 minute, it's the same. You really want to emphasize that whether I knelt down for 10 hours or for 1 minute is important. The problem is that I knelt. And I know there were cameras there, so I didn't do so secretly. I said, I apologize. Because not a few people keep telling me, oh, we told you that this man will not perform. We told you about the character of this man. And look at the damage he has done. Putting a woman to prison for 3 months, a pregnant woman, 8 months pregnant, and delivery trees in prison, and the woman died thereafter. This news are all over the place. Now you go to Edo, the only mass transit on road are the buses I bought, which I call comrade buses. Of course, he removed the word comrade, but couldn't remove the image of the buses. The one he bought, he withdrew them after he busted government treasury. So what is it that they were campaigning with? I have been a lawyer. Oshiomhole is a tailor. I say, fine. In business of politics, the tailor probably know everybody that wear clothes in the city or in the village. The butcher man, maximum in a typical rural Nigeria, they don't know what it's about. Not talk about what is a director. They see them as the oppressors who create all kinds of crises here and there. So a tailor is typically a friend of the community. A woman wants to get married is looking for a tailor. Your clothes get torn, you look for a tailor to patch it. So I'm a proud tailor. So, but what the issue is, what will you do? Oh, I'm going to big broadband. We go to, these big transactional jargons. And those were not the kind of people we vote for. Because of the performance of Obaseki, he was even reluctant to appear with him. On the other hand, without Obaseki, he hasn't got any identity of his own. And so, like I used to say, and I still do say, and he can go to court, that the two are two leprous figures of the same leprous hand. And the people will do well not to near any of the fingers.
Governor Oshiomhole, I'm gonna. The reason why I brought the issue of you apologizing for bringing.
No, anytime I realize I made a mistake, I never hesitate to apologize.
So the question is,
that's who I am.
I hope, and the people are asking, they hope that you will not apologize again, because the capacity of the man you backed this time around, compared to all other candidates, would you say that is the best man in store for that could do the job for the people of Edo State?
Sure, with due respect, this is still an unhelpful academic question. Edo people have spoken about their choice. Who are you, with due respect, to say that their judgment is faulty?
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, you need to revise the definition of democracy.
You apologize for bringing Governor Godwin Obaseki. The question is that we hope that you will not apologize again.
Okay, noted.
Let me ask you, Governor, are you worried about the commentary on the outcome of this election? Some of which, for example, the PDP candidate said his mandate was brazenly stolen. How do you respond to that?
Are you hearing such statement for the first time?
No.
The acting chairman of PDP, who talk about defending vote with his blood, because those people were not going to sacrifice their blood for anybody. We subscribe to President Jonathan's school, which says the election of even a president is not worth the blood of any Nigerian. And you had a PDP national chairman who is acting with all the crises around the status, talking about bloodbath for election. You had Obaseki, watch him on channel, insisting that it's a do or die. And when you ask him, he said, if they do, then they will be dead. Now the people have done it, so I guess it's politically dead.
You think so?
I know so.
Because the reason why I'm asking this is...
Excuse me, the verdict is out. I want you to really be dispassionate. You know, in a sense, I think that your candidate lost the election. No. You are making judgments.
I'm not making judgment. I'm asking simple questions.
They're not simple questions.
Yeah, they are simple,
when you sit down here, when you sit down here to ask me that, whether I thought that of all the candidates, that the APC candidate was the most qualified and competent, is that question meant to be answered by you and I? That question can only be answered by Edo people, and that's what the campaign is about.
I guess you are an Edo leader, an elder statesman in the state, and that's what I'm asking you. And you are one of those who are responsible.
It's academic now. It's academic now, because Edo people have spoken loud and clear that Monde Ukpeolu, a distinguished senator who had been elected last year, has again been elected this time by the right to senatorial zone and is now declared as the governor-elect of Edo State. So you can ask those voters why they decided that way. They understand that if a man can speak like the Queen of England or the King of England, right? But he cannot build a classroom and their children are sitting on the floor, what is the value of their English? If you have written 1 million MOUs, right? Bring all manners of consultants. Even that's why you're one of the consultants anyway. And a hospital that was built by Governor Oshiomhole, equipped by Governor Oshiomhole, you convert it to a private hospital. You run it by consultant, and only the rich can go there. The poor are forbidden from going there. You demolish the other side of the hospital and replace it with a museum. You think the people are stupid? And so, if you can speak good grammar, because you sit on a board, nobody knows how you become a board chairman. Because in the real world of business literature, there are bonus directors, not on account of what the value of their share. Maybe they have a reputation for being able to do transactions and all that, PR for companies or whatever. But that's not really my business. Edo people are speaking. I think what you should spend your time scrutinizing is what is irregular in the outcome of this election. And that's
what we are going to.
Okay, I think we should just get there.
And because
to premise, to ask a question about who is suitable, who is not suitable.
No, because
it's for you to over-exaggerate, is to try to impose your values,
your judgment. It's not my judgment. I'm asking the question as a journalist. And they say he will come
as a journalist, you can't
with equity, should come with clean hands.
That's right.
You are almost as the face of the campaign. And I reminded you of what you did in apologizing about Governor Godwin Obaseki.
Yes.
Now that Senator Okwewolo has won this election, the people are asking, they hope that Senator Oshiomhole will not apologize on his behalf.
And pray for that too. But let me ask you
and I wanted to give confirmation whether or not, Senator, just for a moment, whether or not you can confirm to the people of Edo State who are watching tonight that they are in for a good deal with Senator Okwewolo. That was what I thought that you were going to do.
That was
by the question I asked you.
My answer need not coincide with your thoughts.
No, I'm asking you the right question.
Imagine that you know
I asked you the right question, Senator.
Listen,
how do you describe the capacity and the competence of the man that has now been declared as the governor-elect of Edo State?
So that is the essence of the campaigns. The campaign season offers the people the opportunity to interface directly. In your own case, to interface with the elite. In the sense that those who are watching us now are those Nigerians in urban and who have light, and who probably have DSTV. Others, there are even many young people who can read and write. They prefer to be watching the musicals or some other channels. So what you need to understand is that when you talk in the manner that you do, you assume that those with, you categorize as motivational speakers. In any case, don't doubt me. I'm capable of engaging anyone, but that is not all that leadership entails. People now want to say, okay, Obaseki, I talk about his prowess, he can speak, he can organize, blah, 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 blah. I said all of that, only to find that, yes, whereas these facts are there, when he now had the key to drive the Edo vehicle, he derailed. And so the people are saying, be careful of these people who call themselves, quote, technocrat. When the government have been elected with political leadership ability, you can appoint Ighodalo as your advisor if you want. You can appoint him as your commissioner. You know, just like Obaseki was, in my opinion, a good advisor, because I was at liberty to decide which of his advice to take, which one I should modify, which one I should reject. But it's different being on the driver's seat. I just find that those who are good at pontificating, who can churn out tons of documents, when it comes to implementation strategy, they just fail.
So you don't think communication is as important as to deliver leadership?
How did we market Monday? It's through communicator. It's through communication. You are saying I was the face of the campaign, whatever that means. Thank you. But what makes me the face? Maybe because I was speaking to the quality of Monday. I spoke about the quality of Monday, and we got it to speak to the people as to what will he do differently. He has to justify those who have voted for him. Why should they vote for him? How will he be different from this rejected government? He has to speak to those. And that is communication. But the mistake you make, you TV hosts, many of you, is to assume that anyone who doesn't appear before you, you exaggerate the import of television viewers. Many people dismiss you because they think...
You think it's exaggerated, Senator? You think this conversation we're having is exaggerated?
Not exaggerated, but the way people put on the view should parrot. When you sit down here and say, I mean, many of you were close, in fact, you have voted. You, as a person, you have voted. I know few others who have also voted on the basis of, oh, this man is a board member, he's a director, he speaks French, English, he's a lawyer. And of course, he also said, Oshiomhole is a tailor, or was a tailor, and he was a lawyer, he's a chairman of a board. That's fine. That's why I draw your attention that show are empty. To be electable, the qualities required. Read the book, the biography of Memoirs of George Bush, where he wrote, he went to Yale and told the student that if you don't make it in university, don't commit suicide. He said he has his challenges academically, but as you can see, he is the president of America, the most powerful country on earth. He said that much, he admitted that much.
Is that the reason behind the strategy of your party not to allow your candidate to engage in some certain kind of communication?
It's not about not allowing him. We are not in a position to compel anybody. And how we communicate, don't use the word communication.
Because it's part of it.
The mistake you are making is to assume that the most potent means of communication is through television. It's not true. Radio is even more effective.
That's your assumption.
That's a fact. It's about reach.
You probably have a very little. No.
It's about reach.
Disagree. You don't have expertise in that area, so it's difficult for you to say.
No,
I disagree with you.
I'm a viewer.
Yeah, but you don't have expertise in the area. You don't have facts to defend. I am a communication expert, and you cannot talk about the potency of a particular medium where you don't have expertise to speak on.
We can argue that. I believe I'm a better communication expert than you. Because, let me give you an example.
That's your opinion, Governor.
Your opinion, my opinion. Exactly. Opinion is free. But let me tell you why I think I am a better communicator.
Go ahead, please.
As president of Nigeria Labour Congress, without the aid of armed forces, police, television, or radio, I was able to communicate with the Nigerian people and get them to defy Obasanjo's government and get them to sit at home for 1 week. That's communication without the aid of even modern telephone. So your understanding of communication is the textbook theory, right? How you should dress, how you appear corporate and all that. Even my own choice of dress when I go out in my khaki is a means of communicating. To tell people, look, you can approach me. It's not a statement about suggesting I can't afford to dress better than you. No. But if I'm going to work for these people, they should feel able to approach me. I shouldn't look like that, the oppressor that they're running away from.
And I'm asking, comrade,
communication
is that the reason why you framed the campaign and the appearances
as you can see,
of Senator Obaseki?
Our strategy worked, which is why the people who vote and who voted
to shield in from certain kind of communication.
The real voters, perhaps those who are watching us now, they probably just that day they were watching. Have they started fighting? And so on and so forth. I thought some of the things that will excite you, Chiwa, this is important for our country, is that I watch you because you are one of the most influential TV hosts. I mean, that is a fact. Even if I don't like you for it, but you are. I wish I could take it from you. I don't like I add it to my own, but I cannot. You know, when a man goes to a village and speaks his dialect, it has more impact on those communities than when you speak high-profile English, that when you finish, people say, Miache. What did he say? So you do not understand electoral communication to be electable.
All right, let's take a breather.
This question has been settled by the fact that the Monday communicated with the electorate.
You've chosen a certain strategy.
They view them and they decide, of course.
And you think it worked for you? So, but
it worked.
Yeah.
Let's take a break. We have won, and that's why we're celebrating.
Let's take a break, everyone. But so much to talk about. There are questions as to the integrity of the outcome of that election or the process itself has been questioned by a few people. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole will be speaking to some of those issues when we return from this break, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's get back to that conversation with former Governor of Edo State, Senator Adams Oshiomhole. Thank you so much indeed, Your Excellency, for your time tonight. Let's take a look at some of the reaction. PDP is rejecting that election, and YIAGA Africa says the election lacked the integrity. That in 3 different local government areas, there are instances where results were supposed to be announced and collated at the local government area, but they were taken to the state. Are you worried about that kind of outcome of an election that you are rejoicing over?
You know what? Let me tell you, today as I was coming, somebody called me. It's not on my contact, but somehow during election season, sometimes you want to just pick calls. You never know who is calling and what information he has. And the guy said they are observers, if I can bring some money for them to do a press conference in our favor. I said, I don't need it. You are supposed to report what you see. Or if you like, report what you didn't see. Now, I don't know how many places they went to in YIAGA Africa. I don't know. But the local government you are referring to are in Benin.
Not all of them.
When you look at those numbers,
they talk about disruption in Ighodalo, disruption in Osaka West, Ego, and Oredo LGAs.
Okay. Of that, Osaka West is my local government. Which location was there a disruption?
It wasn't stated specifically, but they said there were cases of disruption.
I have to grant you, accept that you are a victim of disinformation. Because if the person wanted to be factual, he would say, if he's a competent reporter, he will say in so word, at so time, and describe exactly what happened. I went to vote. In fact, I woke up, it's through television, I realized he started voting. I had to wait a little bit, because sometimes material don't come on time. So I put on TV, and I saw even my mother was voting. So I have to just rush to go and vote. And I saw so many radio, TV, and print media people there. And of course, they witnessed everything. Peaceful people queuing. And I even saw EFCC nosing around, maybe they want to look for those who are buying vote or not buying vote. So I don't know where you got your information from. I can't comment on it.
Are you aware, Senator, about the situation that led Governor Obaseki to INEC office and the instances in Ighodalo, where election results were taken from local government area and was not conclusion of collation was not done there as against what the electoral law says, and they took them to the state office?
Okay. Now you quote electoral law, and I understand you're a law student right now. That same law does not allow a governor. I was a governor. I never leave my polling booth. Once I finish voting, if I like, I wait a little bit. At the polling booth, I chat with people, and then I call home. If I find that my appearance here is attracting more attention, I just quietly go home. How can a city governor go to a collation center in clear violation to intimidate and probably to influence the result or to change the result? What was he doing there? By INEC rules and law that you have quoted, every party is entitled to one agent. And incidentally, the law prohibits anybody who is holding an elective office. For example, as a senator, I'm not eligible to be an agent. A governor is not eligible. An elected council chairman cannot be. President cannot. How can a governor go to collation center while collation is going on? My shock is that the Nigeria police escorted him to that place. And you know, when I see them speak from both sides of their mouth, like the acting chairman of PDP was saying now, I saw Obaseki yesterday through Channel or Arise or so, talking about commending the Nigeria Army. Commending the Army for being very professional, the way they manage the election, etc., etc. We had issues with the security agencies. Later, I will show you on my phone what I wrote to one of them. Because when you see a crime being committed, you're supposed to be able to call the police. And you just find that all sorts of things were happening. But the saving grace is that majority of the people want the vote to count, and they were ready to vote.
Senator Oshiomhole,
and they voted.
The question is, and you are not bothered about what looks like an unusual activity in an electoral process. No, a result is supposed to be collated at the local government area, but it was taken to the state collation center. There are stages to the collation of result. Are you bothered that that process was not properly done?
When you quote a liar approvingly, I have difficulties. Because you take people who are notorious. I call PDP people deceiving people, papa deceive Pekin. Because the history of rigging in Nigeria, how they tried to convert Nigeria to a one-party state, was through barefaced rigging. It was President Obasanjo who first used the word that the election was a do or die, which Obaseki has also now copied. If they do, they will die. He told you here. He insisted. Now the people have done it, so he's dead.
You don't think this?
Now, excuse me.
This election was rigged?
Listen. Rigged where?
What I'm asking you.
It's not rigged.
You think that this election is
This election is a reflection of the will of Edo people. Are you not surprised that it's not possible to rig election without violence? Now, with all the same people who were calling for bloodbath, Obaseki refused to sign peace accord, which shows that it's a worse version. Since you call people like us godfathers, it's a worse version of godfather. He didn't even allow the candidate. It is not governor to sign peace accord. It is the candidate that signs, right? Once he pronounced it, they were ready for war. And in the end, how come that right before the election, they kill people? They kill a police officer attached to APC candidate. And he said that if anybody tried to arrest those who killed the man, that Nigeria will burn. And my pain is that as we speak,
that local
those
government
results
were not concluded at local government.
I don't have that
about
evidence.
2 to 3.
I don't have that evidence. But let me also say this. It is possible because in my election in 2007, I went to court. When all the elections results were collated at the residence of the then chief of staff to I think then he was deputy governor, Mark Ogadume. We proved it in court. And the court said, our lawyers argue and I listen. Assuming there was violence, they said because there was violence, so it was not safe, or there was no light, or for whatever reason. But my conclusion from all the argument was that under certain circumstances, if it is impossible, whether for reasons of insecurity or whatever, they can collate in a designation as approved by INEC. Now, this is purely INEC decision to take, not me.
So,
but you see, my problem is that you are quoting an interested party. That was so for people who publicly insisted that this is a do or die. So by any means, they must win.
I quoted a civil
and now
society,
they didn't win.
I quoted a civil society organization.
Civil society.
And YIAGA Africa and some other Situation Room, TAF Africa, all of them, all of them came out to say this election stands less than the standard practice that we should have as an election in Nigeria. INEC also came out to say this is the reason why they took the result that the collation was not finalized to the State Collation Center, which is against the electoral law. And you don't see anything wrong in that, Senator?
Do you want me to repeat myself?
No, I'm asking. I quoted a few people, but you disagree with that. But I'm saying that civil society organization.
Yes, to be civil society doesn't make you an angel.
When they came out with their fact, they observed the election.
What is the fact?
They came out with
their opinion.
It's not an opinion. It's based on a science. It's a scientific observation process.
It's a scientific process. What is based on the science? What tools did they deploy?
Monitoring.
Yes. What is the monetary tool?
Senator,
what special equipment?
They have
what evidence did they have?
They have all the details, and they've been doing it over several other elections.
The fact that a man has been alive for 100 years doesn't make him an angel.
You have been a victor in going to the court.
I launched one-man, one-vote campaign.
And you have come out victorious out of the court. Are you worried that a lot of question mark has been raised on this election could upturn it? Are you worried about that, Senator?
You know, your problem is that you don't talk about your fears, your worries. You are never talking about my hopes. I will talk about hope. You are free to parrot about fears. I will parrot hope. I hope that now that the people have spoken, that Senator Monday on November 12th will be sworn in. Then it will be Governor Akpakomiza. That he will recognize that people queued up to late evening to cast their vote so that he will have the executive power to address the socio-economic challenges facing the state. And they are huge.
Senator.
That is what my hopes are.
I mean,
to ask me to speculate that if this matter go to court, that there could be possibility that the matter might fail in court, and that the court could overturn it, it's academic.
Senator, let me ask you. You stood on the other side of the divide against Governor Godwin Obaseki, who is now seen as your political enemy. Once he
enemy, opponent. Use words that are not too frightening.
Are you?
I don't want him there.
Are you still very? I mean, it's not every time you're on the other side that you want the other side dead. But the question is that it doesn't look like your relationship with him is as cordial as he was your economic advisor.
No.
So the question is once he defeated you, now it looks like you have defeated him.
And he's paying you. Listen,
I'm a journalist.
You know what? You are a journalist.
I have no interest. But the question
don't give you license.
I have no interest.
Free you from biases.
But no, I don't have. I don't have biases.
Every human being does. Only that many some may
I
not
have
be
my
aware.
bias because you and I share the similar height. Aside that, I've got
But
those
sometimes you are too hard on me.
No.
But let me
but
say
the question
this.
is that, how do you feel about him?
Now,
Because you have always spoken about how you don't like his politics.
This is very interesting. This is very interesting. This INEC that he is criticizing now, demonizing, the same INEC conducted Obaseki's election in 2016 and declared him the winner. Then it was perfect. In 2020, this same INEC, when I say same INEC, ordered this same chairman, the current chairman, he was the chairman of INEC in 2016, that declared Obaseki the winner.
But different rec.
Then this same national chairman, this same INEC, conducted Obaseki's election in 2020, back to back, and declared him the winner. Now, this third one, they have lost. So INEC has become something, INEC is suddenly a devil. They have been fine institution who are doing very well. They have improved the system, which of course is true. By 2016, there was no beavers. He won. By 2020, I think they probably have introduced it. I'm not too sure. Now, let me ask you, Shehu. This last year election, because we need to look at facts, talking about the analysis and scientific evaluation. If you are going to do statistics, you extrapolate into the future or the base of the past. Last year election, PDP lost across the 3 senatorial zones. They have no single senator. They lost Oredo, they lost Ikubauka, they lost Ighodalo, they lost Oshiomhole, they lost of their federal constituencies. They have no House of Rep member, they have no senator across the state. It's only necessary, etc., because there was a technical problem, election was postponed, they had enough time to manipulate, so they had only one member of the House of Rep. That is just last year. And that was the Edo people's verdict of PDP. Right? So what has changed between last year and now for him to think and for you to believe that those who rejected PDP just last year, 2023 election, around March, right? That this year they have consistently rejected PDP, and you think that's unusual?
Let me ask you.
I thought what should have shocked you is that having suffered such a woeful defeat, they don't have one senator across the 3 senatorial zone. They don't have any federal constituency, not in Oredo, not in Ighodalo, not in Ovia, not in Oshiomhole. So, what is the basis for their expectation? Senator, other than they have huge amount of money, they have piled up to do all sorts of things to manipulate institutions. I saw him celebrating the Nigerian army. Now, when the results are out and he did it with, then everybody is suddenly a devil.
Let me ask you quickly, if you don't agree with what the PDP say, I'd like to get your view on what the Labour Party...
I've asked just now, no, but I'm also trying to ask you a question.
No, you can't ask me a question. No, you cannot.
You don't have immunity.
No, I invited you. I have immunity on this program because I moderate this program.
No, when I'm my guest. No, we have a conversation.
You are my guest, so we can have a conversation. But let me quickly ask
nice to your guest.
I am nice to you. But this is what Peter Obi said, and I'd like to get your view on his own
From
view.
an Abraham home, he saw what was happening, right? Go on.
He said, what happened over the weekend in the name of election in Edo State does not in any way represent the democratic process we chose as a method of electing our political leadership. Instead, it was a blatant example of state capture and continued gross undermining of our democratic process and values. Any nation whose leadership recruitment process is so fatally flawed is doomed, and we are all seeing the effect in our country. I urge those in authority not to allow this situation to stand or depend on it to remain in power. How do you react to that?
Simple. I watch, check the records. The candidate of the Labour Party, of which Obi is probably their leader, it doesn't seem to be interested in party. He's more of obedient, not party. He's not an institutional person, right? Their candidate, unfortunately, well, we can't say it's unfortunate because, that is the will of the people. Report says that he lost his unit to PDP, not to us. So if a candidate lost his unit to PDP, not to APC, maybe his attack will be on PDP. But I also noticed that when they came for a rally in Benin, he didn't wait till the end of the rally. Or if he waited, At a point, he's appeared from the screen. But I don't want to really talk about Peter Obi. He's my good friend. We were governors at about the same time. I invited him to commissions of project for me in Edo State, and he did. We are good friends. It's just like the nature of politics. Sometimes, I don't want to throw away all my friendship or to throw away all my goodwill. But the truth of the matter is, from his sitting or from his hometown in Oka or in Lagos or wherever he was speaking from, certainly he was not in Benin. That is how he arrived at that conclusion. But in any case, I'm not surprised. Don't forget that only last year, Obi and Atiku were both claiming that they won. Two people claiming ownership of one phone. Two people. They don't know it's my own. Oh, it's my own. So, Abinishio, one of them must be lying, at least. And yet, they were entertained.
Let's finalize on this note, and perhaps in less than 60 seconds, that's what I'm being told that we have. Going forward in this election, when back and forth, there are a lot of forces who don't agree with the outcome of the election. Where does the party go from here? Legitimacy is a very critical factor here, don't you think?
Those who elected Senator Monday Upewolo are Edo people. Obi is not from Edo State. The PDP chairman is not from Edo State. As for Ighodalo is a occasional visiting Edo State person. He doesn't live in Edo. He operates from Protia Hotel. He doesn't live in his village. He doesn't campaign. I campaign from my village. I campaign from my house. You say you saw people in my house yesterday. Let him do press conference at his residence to show evidence that he resides with the people. He's a visitor. And I told you people earlier that Edo people will not elect a visitor again. Visitors from Lagos. And then when they get to Edo, they say, Edo not be Lagos. Meanwhile, they made all their money one way or the other in Lagos. And then they think it's a political good statement to make. Oh, Edo not be Lagos. All right, Edo not be Lagos. But you don't understand Edo because you live in Lagos. Edo people will elect a visitor. He's a visiting Edo guy.
So that's your statement about the issue of legitimacy.
The election was won by Senator Upewolo. So he has the mandate of the people. And that is what you call legitimacy. It is when you don't have the mandate. Or if you know you have just told me that this man is weak, is this. And yet he was able to rig out these boardroom people, this director with all the money that they command, with all the wealth that they have. A poor man like Monday is able to buy them out.
The allegations of federal might that is being
federal might. If you say federal might, good. Federal government was there. In 2016, Obaseki won. In 2020, APC federal government was there, under Buhari, and he won. Then it was fine. There was no federal might. The state might here. Do you know what? When I saw Obaseki celebrating the Nigerian army, but see, I'm not here to criticize anybody, but we have huge difficulties. And as I saw that, the problem we have is, because we are APC, if you complain of police brutality, or police ignoring you when a crime is being committed, or police shielding people, police provided escort.
Senator, we are totally out of time.
Okay.
Senator
I believe we have won the election fair and square, and we thank Edo people, and I hope that Senator Monday Upewolo, upon this warning, will do everything possible to justify the huge confidence reposed in him, and that he understands squarely that governance is a huge challenge.
Former governor of Edo State.
I'm sure he will acquit himself.
Senator Adams Oshiomhole, thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Shehu.
That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Oshiomhole. God bless Nigeria.